Hi, my name is Siegfried. I'm with Gaskets, and I'm going to go through a short demonstration of our new product, the Rapid Integrity Gasket. First of all, I wanted to show you the way the product is going to come. You will get in each of the packages installation instructions, which I removed here, the gasket, which here this is the RTJ model that comes with an outer ring, an alignment mechanism, and a protection for the port, a protection cap as well for the test port. And here you can see our test port, which is a standard dual ferrule tube fitting, which will allow testing with multiple crossover adapters to give you flexibility on your test equipment. So I will demonstrate how the product is installed. We've got the RTJ model, as you saw in the box, as well as a dual cam profile, which is a expanded PTFE inner seal with a high purity graphite outer seal, which is also fire safe. Both models utilize the same principle with an outer ring, alignment, and the test port that is a tube fitting. We've got crossover adapters to go from most of the standard tube ends for hydraulic manual pumps or for nitrogen testing. The most common that we are using is a tube to a female 1/4 inch NPT. We also have BSP adapters available, which go to TIMA type quick connects, as our competitors use, and just multiple choices of adapters for the test equipment. So from an installation perspective, we'll start with the RTJ side. The principle was to make the gasket as drop-in and easy to install as possible. So whether, of course, you have a gap with both flanges, or in this case for visibility none, you will install 3 or 4 bolts to give some support to the gasket. In the case of an RTJ, it's usually self-centered, but we will put 2 sleeves once we are done so that we can improve further the alignment. And the point of these 2 sleeves is to make sure that if you have B7 studs that are dissimilar in material than the ring and the flanges, it'll help with corrosion control. So the gasket will drop in and align. Being an RTJ, it does that by itself. Okay, so then you would put a couple of bolts around the support area, okay, and then put the sleeves in, as demonstrated, okay, and the gasket will basically hold. So once it's in, it's not going to go anywhere. It's perfectly centered, and at that point, it's basically ready for the other flange. So you can install the other flange. Install your nuts. Oops. Right. Go. A few more. Okay. Each as common practice, all of the bolts as well as the nuts must be lubed. And once it is installed, it will be torqued based on the specifications of the RTJ that's being used, and at that point it is ready for testing. So you can at that point remove the cap, remove the fitting, and in this case I'm going to use a TIMA quick connect adapter. You can put the quick connect adapter as the ferrules on the tube fitting are already pre-compressed here after the gasket is assembled and fully tested. So they're going to stay on, and that means that using an 11mm wrench as well as another wrench to use the appropriate fitting you have, you will snug it back to where you start feeling a little bit of tension, and then go 1/8 of a turn to make it a little bit tighter. Now for support, especially if you have very long hoses and stuff, at that point the cap can be reinstalled to provide more rigidity to the tube, but basically it is held. You will plug in your quick connect and conduct the testing. So if it was a hydraulic, you would just basically manually pump it up to each company has their specifications of what the pressure will be, what time to hold the pressure, and once that is finished and the joint has been tested, then you would remove the adapter, put the cap back on, follow the same process, this time with two 11mm spanners, and then snug it back up and go 1/8 of a turn. More pressure will not create a better seal. So there is no need to tighten it too much. And then you will put the protection cap and the gasket is good to go. Right? The principle is exactly the same, let me turn this, with the race face. So let me remove some of these bolts. Now, with the race face model, the dual cam profile, the number one item to look at is the facings or the seals. Because of the way the dual cam profile is built, if the gap in between the two flanges is too thin and somebody pushes the gasket in with a lot of force, you can see that it would damage the sealing elements. So we recommend a minimum of 8mm gap between the raised faces, as the gasket is 6.5mm thick, uncompressed, with uncompressed seals. So 8mm, 10mm would be even better. But we recommend being extremely careful with those seals, as they are sensitive or fragile. Sorry, that's a long process. For dual cam profiles, we have torque values for two coefficient of frictions, 0.09 and 0.11. These will be provided as necessary. And the same principle applies as far as the adapters and how to install it. On an RTJ, obviously, as it fits in the groove, it is easier to align, and therefore the sleeves and the alignment ring only provide a slight incremental improvement in ease of installation, but on a dual cam profile, it helps tremendously because it guarantees that you will align the gaskets to the bore perfectly every time without much effort at all. So same principle applies. Some bolts are here, and as you can see, when you install the gasket, because the bolts have a lot of slack, the gasket will just come down and not be centered. And that is the value of having these sleeves and this isolation mechanism. When we install the sleeves, it guarantees that the gasket is perfectly centered with the bore. And that is basically it. The gasket is in, the flange goes in, and the principle is exactly the same as far as torquing with the proper values and testing the rapid integrity gasket. If you have any further questions, please contact us, and we are here to help you. Thank you very much for watching this short video and for using our products. Bye-bye.